What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back again with another video, and of course it is Friday. That means another installment of Save Slot, a weekly news show where we go over first party and third party news revolving around PlayStation. And first up here, of course, we had the biggest news section of the week. That is, of course, Borderlands 3. We got the debut of the gameplay of the game. It's looking great. I'm loving it a lot. And we got some cool details about it as well that I'd like to go over a few of them, but then go into a much bigger, discussion and conversation about Borderlands 3 this week. But first off, here's some details about the game. We got the introduction that the game will be having some more modern movement to the game. So that includes mantling over stuff. That includes sliding as well. Really cool, kind of just quality of life movement stuff that doesn't make that game feels so old like its other predecessors like Borderlands 1 and 2, how they have a very PS3 era type movement where there's no sliding, there's no mantling, whatever. But now with Borderlands 3 they've updated those controls and those are a part of the game, as well as with all that good stuff. There's also the prospect of kind of the hub and your central base of, I guess, upgrading yourself and different things like that to that tune, other than skill points. But just an overall kind of hub world and kind of like home base is going to be on this thing called the Sanctuary 3, which is a ship, and it will allow you to go to different planets rather than different areas of one planet. So that's pretty cool right there. Really is a change of pace from other Borderlands games where you were taking place on one big massive map and could fast travel to different parts of that world. Now you can go to multiple different worlds, and that should be really cool and really kind of open the horizons of Borderlands 3 and really diversify where you're playing and where you're fighting as in terms of missions and stuff like that. It's really cool to hear that there. But we have another big story involving this whole thing, and that is the microtransactions talk with Randy Pitchford and the whole Randy Pitchford, excuse me, and the whole debacle around transactions, all that good stuff about Borderlands 3. So what happened here was that Randy, when he was first debuting Borderlands 3, I think it was a month ago when he first announced the game and it's really officially announced it, he said there's going to be no microtransactions in the game. However, there are microtransactions in the game, and so there was this whole debate, and from his perspective, he was trying to say that there's no microtransactions in the negative slant, in the way of no pay to win stuff, no pay to have a better gun, etc. That he meant no microtransactions of that way. However, there are going to be cosmetic microtransactions in the game, so that's what he was kind of going at there, and he meant that there won't be bad microtransactions. But Game Informer ran with this whole tweet here, and it definitely did start a whole debate between Randy and a bunch of people in the ads of that tweet, and there was a whole debate, and I think it's still going on right now, I believe, but it's a very, very long thread. Go on it, look at that thread, it's huge. But definitely some things happen there, so there's definitely still some drama from that standpoint. But I hope that's all gets cleared up, because I am one that is for microtransactions that aren't gameplay changing, and as long as they're just cosmetic, I don't have a problem with them personally. So I hope that all gets cleared up. But that should be the main focus of Borderlands 3. It should be the gameplay details and stuff like that, but had to mention that there. Let's go on. Black Ops 4 got an update. I don't play much COD these days at all, really, so it's kind of sad. But Black Ops 4, we got the Spectre Rising event here. They added Spectre back from Black Ops 3, and he has a katana, and when you engage that katana or sword or whatever, he goes into a third-person perspective, and you go around, and it's looking really cool. Like, it looks almost like Destiny low-key when you're wielding a sword in Destiny. It looks very similar to that, to me at least. And there's also updates to Blackout in this update as well, where they introduce new areas of the whole map that are flooded, and so there's going to be a big emphasis on using those water vehicles and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of other things that they laid out as well. They're going to introduce prop hunt to the game as well, a fan favorite mode. A lot of people like prop hunt as well. And there's going to be some new weapons, of course, new zombies content, new cosmetic are in the new supply stream as well. So pretty cool to see that there. If you're still playing Call of Duty, definitely have fun with that Spectre Rising update. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is your weekly check-in on, of course, Save Slot's #1 game, Death Stranding. Let's get into it, guys. So Hideo Kojima tweeted this out today, not today, excuse me, on April 30th, not at all today. So he tweeted this out, and you can see, you know, there's two monitors here, right? On the left-hand side, we have the Death Stranding logo, you know, and it seems to be looking at a preview window. If you are an editor like myself, I don't use this software anymore, but this is very clearly Premiere Pro, right? You can definitely tell that this is Premiere Pro. He has the preview window on the left that has the Death Stranding logo, and on the right, he has all of the trailer aspects and assets, all that good stuff in the timeline of Premiere Pro. So that's leading a lot of people to believe that, okay, this is definitely him teasing some sort of trailer, possibly for E3. So that's what's going on here. Maybe this will be submitted in PlayStation's next State of Play. That's what we're leading to believe here, which we have a story about that as well later on in this episode, so stay tuned for that. But, you know, it looks like there's definitely going to be some sort of trailer that we're getting for Death Stranding yet again. So really cool to get another, you know, trailer of not explaining the game at all, you know, and what the game actually is. You know, even though we got comments last week about what the game is straight from Hideo Kojima, but it just further confused everyone. So that's great. Death Stranding game of the year, I guess. I don't know. Speaking of another PlayStation exclusive, we have Dreams here. Of course, in early access, you know, you can buy it right now, $30. I believe it's not closed yet. They say limited amount of numbers will be let into the early access, but it seems like they haven't closed anyone off yet, so that's good. But they're adding new stuff to the game as we speak. So they're adding new tutorials for the game, new templates. They're adding brand new assets to the game as well for creators to mess with and stuff like that. They're increasing the level cap and adding social features to the game as well. And one of those features is actually the ability to block certain creators. So that's really interesting too. So I guess if you don't like what someone's creating, you can block them. I think that's an odd thing to add, but hey, you know what? I mean, it is what it is. But another big one that I've heard a lot from people that have Dreams, they are adding new control options to alleviate people from having to use the gyroscope on the controller. So I guess there were some elements of certain controllers that were in Dreams that you had to explicitly use the gyroscope in the controller and use those move controls. But I think now they're going to add different ways that you can further control those aspects that were with the gyroscope, but with other different traditional means, maybe like the analog stick, stuff like that. So pretty cool to see that they are adding new ways to control it and stuff like that. So there it is. James is getting updated. And this is probably the second biggest story of the week. We have, of course, Psyonix, the developers behind Rocket League. They have been acquired by Epic Games. It was a very, very big thing. I feel like it's not getting talked about a lot, but this is a very, very big thing here. So they say, quote, Rocket League always has been and always will be a community-driven game, and now that we have joined forces with Epic, we will be able to serve our community in even bigger and better ways. And they go on to say that, you know, because the deal significantly increases our potential reach and resources, just like it does for the game itself. So it looks like, you know, they are overall taking this with a very positive stance, and definitely are, you know, somewhat appreciative, or not even somewhat, very appreciative, it looks like, of this Epic Games, you know, acquisition of the studio. And really cool to see that they're really folding into, you know, the Epic Games window, stuff like that. I think it's gonna be really cool. I think this is a really, really good move, honestly. If you look at how Epic Games has treated Fortnite, and we have Rocket League, which I feel like, you know, those two kind of games, I feel like they go well together. I feel like they have a likeliness to have a lot of crossover in their fan bases, you know, not just because of the aesthetic of the game, how they're very colorful, vibrant looking games that, you know, have some sort of cartoony look to them. Not at all even centered on that. I was talking from just the overall kind of community, because like I feel like the Fortnite community obviously is massive, you know, and Rocket League is as well to its own right and stuff like that. But I feel like this is just a great pairing. I think it's a great move, so I hope that, you know, it breeds nothing but, you know, further success for Rocket League in the future. So definitely big congrats to Psyonix on the acquisition. And you all know another game that I love in the door, Life is Strange. We have Life is Strange 2 going right now, and I know I've been very critical about Life is Strange 2 and how their release schedule is completely insane to me. How they're going to stretch out all these 5 episodes in like 14 months, something crazy like that. You know, it's a very long time they are stretching this game out, this episodic game, these five episodes and stuff like that. So it's very, very long release time. But we have in our trailer here that's been showing on screen, it is episode 3. So the episode is called Wastelands, and it'll be dropping on May 9th next week. So unfortunately, I will be out of town that week, so that's a very that's a unfortunate timing for him to drop this episode, because usually I stream it the day it launches, but overall, you know, it looks like I can't, unfortunately. But you know, it's a cool trailer. I'm still intrigued by the story and everything, but I do wish that we were getting these episodes a little bit faster than we are getting them, you know, than we're getting them right now. But overall, you know, that's just what it is. So if you guys are hyped for Life is Strange 2, let me know down below. Let me know down below. And some more telling signs of Anthem just going downhill. We have a lot of people at BioWare, and specifically not just people, not just developers, but high-end development staff and people that have a lot of, I guess, you know, oversight, or like managers and stuff like that, and leads on different teams of the team of BioWare. They have been stepping away from Anthem as a project. And so we have Mike Gamble and Mark Dara, I think his name is, as well as the lead director of the game, Jonathan Warner, who, you know, with him, he is taking a personal leave of absence, but the other two, the lead producer Mike Gamble and the executive producer Mark, are both leaving the Anthem team and leaving the Anthem development team. So it looks like, you know, it's not the brightest in the future. It looks like at this point there's going to be probably a small, close-knit group of people that are working on Anthem and probably gonna keep it alive. This I don't know, like, this could be them just shifting their focus to another game. A lot of people are pointing to Dragon Age as that other game, but it could be just another telling of, you know, they don't really see a future in Anthem, which is unfortunate, because I think Anthem overall, you know, is a great game. I mean, great. I mean, it's a good game, you know, and I've talked about this in other episodes of Save Slaw as well, but playing Division 2 right after Anthem definitely just threw off my perspective of Anthem as a whole, you know. Definitely, you know, just completely just ruined it low-key. But I still think Anthem has really core, good gameplay to it, but this is very upsetting seeing key staff kind of leave the project behind. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think that this is a good move, it's a bad move? Let me know your thoughts down below. And really, guys, my last story was going to be around state of play rumors, but honestly, there's not a lot. There was just someone on Reddit saying that, you know, they presume that Last of Us Part 2 will be shown again at some state of play, and that they're backing up that statement with Hideo Kojima's things. So there's not really a story right there. Just figured I'd mention that. There are some rumors and murmurs about in our state of play events, but there's not really a lot to talk about here. So I'm going to just, you know, gracefully bring it up and then just move right past the outro, because honestly, not a lot to talk about there, unfortunately. And ladies and gentlemen, that has been the episode here for Save Slot this week. If you all enjoyed, make sure to check out our description down below where you can find our different links. You can find our Twitter, our Twitch, our Discord, all the good stuff down below. And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a like on the video, as well as say subscribe to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.